What if everything you've been waiting for, clarity, strength, peace, wasn't out there, but already inside you? All it takes is a shift. A new way of thinking. A Stoic way. Stoicism isn't about hiding your emotions or being cold. It's about strength with stillness. Fire, without fury. It's a practical path walked by warriors, emperors, and thinkers for centuries. And today, it's your turn. These 12 timeless Stoic principles aren't just ancient philosophy. They're tools, powerful tools, to help you master your reactions, sharpen your focus, and build a life of true freedom. Apply just one, and your perspective will shift. Apply them all, and your life will transform. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Think about this. How much of your stress, your anxiety, your frustration comes from trying to control things you were never meant to control? The weather. The economy. Other people's opinions. How they treat you. How they misunderstand you. How they talk behind your back. You fight. You push. You spiral. All because you're holding the wrong steering wheel. The Stoics knew, true power begins the moment you let go of the external and turn inward. Because here's the truth. You can't control the storm. But you can control your sail. You can't choose what happens. But you can always choose what it means. And that choice, that single, invisible decision, is where freedom lives. You control your attitude. You control your reaction. You control your effort. You control your integrity. You can show up with grace in chaos. You can speak truth in the face of lies. You can rise with purpose, even when the world wants to drag you down. So stop wasting your power on things you can't change. Start focusing on what you can. Your thoughts. Your habits. Your values. Your next step. Because once you take full ownership of what's yours, life stops happening to you. And starts happening through you. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. What if I told you that the very thing standing in your way, the failure, the fear, the heartbreak, the disappointment, isn't blocking your path? It is the path. We've been taught to avoid discomfort, to fear struggle, to run from resistance. But the Stoics flipped that script. They believed the obstacle is the way. Because life doesn't test you to punish you. It tests you to forge you. The mountain isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you how much you want the summit. The wall isn't there to keep you out. It's there to teach you how to climb. Every closed door is a teacher. Every failure is feedback. Every challenge is a sculptor, shaping you into something stronger. When you hit a dead end, you don't break. You bend. You adapt. You grow. That's what Stoicism offers. Not escape. But endurance. Not comfort. But character. You weren't meant to live a life free of challenge. You were meant to face challenge with fire. So the next time something blocks your way, don't curse it. Don't avoid it. Don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what is this here to teach me? Because once you stop fearing obstacles, you start transforming them. The broken plans become better direction. The failed business becomes your foundation. The heartbreak becomes your turning point. And the pain becomes purpose. The Stoic warrior doesn't wish for an easier battle. They sharpen their sword and say, good. Let's go. Because obstacles aren't interruptions to the path. They are the path. And every stone you stumble on can become the very step that lifts you higher. 3. Living in the present moment. How much of your life have you spent trapped in time that doesn't exist? Worrying about tomorrow. Regretting yesterday. Obsessing over what ifs and what should have beens. You scroll. You compare. You relive. You project. You exist everywhere, except here. And yet, here is the only place life ever happens. The Stoics believe that presence isn't a luxury. It's a responsibility. Because when you miss the moment, you miss your life. You can't change the past. You can't control the future. But you can fully own this moment. Right here, right now. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Feel the now. That's not just mindfulness. That's power. Because when you're present, you stop being a prisoner of your thoughts. You become the master of your awareness. The world wants your attention, every second of it. But you get to decide where it goes. You get to choose to be here, fully alive, fully alert. So next time your mind drifts to what if, pull it back. To this breath. This step. This conversation. This exact moment in time. Because presence isn't just peace. It's performance. It's power. It's purpose. Live now. Not later. Now is all there ever is. And if you master this moment, you master life. 4. Building self-discipline. Everyone wants change. Everyone wants the results. But very few want the discipline. Because discipline is hard. It's early mornings. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's showing up when motivation is nowhere to be found. But the Stoics didn't wait to be inspired. They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted from principle, not feeling. They knew. Discipline isn't restriction. It's liberation. When you can control your cravings, your laziness, your impulses, you become unstoppable. Every time you choose what you want most, over what you want now, you win. Not over the world, but over yourself. That's the victory that matters. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't post on social media. It doesn't ask for applause. It's private. It's personal. It's built in quiet moments when no one's watching. It's waking up early, even when you're tired. It's hitting the gym, even when your mind says, skip today. It's doing the hard thing, the boring thing, the necessary thing. Because discipline is what builds freedom. The freedom to live on your terms. To look in the mirror and say, I don't need permission. I don't need a push. I show up, because I said I would. The Stoics didn't glorify comfort. They trained in discomfort. They practiced voluntary hardship. Why? Because when life throws real adversity your way, you won't flinch. You'll already be ready. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being prepared. It's about being relentless. It's about being so deeply committed to your values that nothing can pull you away from them. So, set the alarm. Stick to the plan. Do the work. Even when it sucks. Especially when it sucks. Because that's the moment. You're building something no one can take from you. Your will. 5. Developing emotional resilience. Let's be clear. Stoicism does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means owning them. Anger. Fear. Sadness. Frustration. These are not weaknesses. They are signals. They are visitors, not masters. You feel anger. Good. It means something matters to you. You feel fear. Good. It means you care about what's at stake. But here's the problem. Most people don't feel their emotions. They are ruled by them. They react. They explode. They shut down. The Stoics teach us to do something radically different. To create space between what happens and how we respond. And in that space, freedom. You don't need to yell. You don't need to run. You don't need to shut down. You just need to pause long enough to choose. You become the observer. Not the victim. Not the storm. You say to yourself, I see this feeling. I honor it. But I choose how it moves me. That is emotional strength. Not to feel nothing. But to feel deeply, without losing control. Because in the hardest moments, when everything inside you wants to react, you will stand still. And you will respond with wisdom. With clarity. With courage. That's emotional resilience. Not the absence of emotion. But the mastery of it. So next time something rattles you. A rude comment, a loss, a betrayal. Pause. Breathe. Don't be the fire. Be the fireplace. 6. Memento mori, remember you will die. Most people live like they'll never die. As if time is infinite. As if someday is guaranteed. As if they have all the tomorrows they could ever want. But the Stoics saw the truth clearly. You will die. And that is what makes life precious. Memento mori. Remember you will die. Not to scare you. But to wake you up. Because when you remember you're mortal, you stop wasting your time. You stop living small. You stop postponing your purpose. You say what you need to say. You forgive faster. You let go of petty arguments. You cherish the people you love. You make decisions that matter. You stop chasing the meaningless. And you start living with meaning. The Stoics reflected on death daily. Not to become sad. But to become more alive. Because when you realize that you might not wake up tomorrow, you start living today. You savor your coffee. You watch the sky. You call your mother. You take the risk. You say, I love you. You breathe, deeply and gratefully. Memento mori is not a curse. It's a compass. A reminder that the clock is ticking. So live like it matters. You don't need more time. You need to wake up to the time you already have. So when you leave this video, don't scroll endlessly. Don't wait for someday. Write the page. Take the walk. Speak the truth. Live your life like someone who remembers they won't get another one. Because when you remember you will die, you finally start to live. 7. Practicing gratitude. You want to feel rich? Grateful people are the wealthiest people in the world. Not because they have everything, but because they see everything they already have. Gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a way of seeing. It's looking at your morning coffee and saying, thank you for this warmth. It's watching the rain and thinking, what a beautiful sound. It's hearing your friend laugh and realizing, this is joy. The Stoics knew. We suffer not because we lack, but because we forget. Forget how far we've come. Forget how much we've survived. Forget how much beauty still surrounds us. Every single day. You want peace? Start by noticing what's already right in front of you. Because the habit of gratitude rewires your brain. It shifts your focus. It softens your heart. It transforms your mindset. From scarcity to sufficiency. From fear to fulfillment. From restlessness to reverence. Gratitude isn't passive. It's active. It's a practice. Something you choose, especially when life feels unfair. You can't always control what you go through. But you can always find something within it to be thankful for. So today, don't wait. Say thank you, for the breath in your lungs. For the quiet moment you almost skipped. For the person who stood by you. For the lesson hidden in the loss. Because when you start to see everything as a gift, you start to live like someone who's truly alive. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. Stop comparing. Start building. The world wants you distracted, chasing likes, chasing trends, chasing validation. But the Stoics knew. Excellence is not external. It's internal. It's not about being better than him, or her. It's about being better than you, yesterday. You don't need a title. You don't need attention. You just need a standard. One that you commit to, even when no one's watching. Personal excellence is a private promise. I will not waste this day. I will not settle. I will rise. It means showing up with your best. Not when it's easy. But especially when it's hard. Because true excellence has nothing to prove. It just quietly grows. Every choice matters. Every rep counts. Every moment is a vote for the person you are becoming. You don't need to outperform the world. You just need to outperform your former self. Again and again and again. The Stoics believed in arete, moral and personal excellence. Not perfection. But presence. Not applause. But effort. Excellence isn't an act. It's a habit. So if you want more out of life, don't chase more. Become more. More focused. More grounded. More aligned with your values. Because at the end of the day, you're not here to win a race. You're here to run your own. With your eyes forward. Your heart steady. And your standard high. 9. Not caring what others think. Most people aren't living their life. They're performing it. Like actors on a stage. Saying what's acceptable, doing what's expected. Wearing masks just to fit in. But the Stoics remind us. You are not here to please the crowd. You are here to live in truth. And the truth is this. You will never be enough. For people who don't even know who they are. So stop chasing approval. Stop living for the applause. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Because every time you choose their opinion over your authenticity, you abandon yourself. But when you stop caring what they think, you start hearing your own voice again. And that voice, that's where your power lives. You do not need permission to be yourself. You do not need validation to be worthy. You do not need to explain your values to people who will never live by them. The Stoics taught. Live by principle, not popularity. Stand tall in silence, if that's what truth demands. Because the approval of the crowd fades. But the approval of your conscience, that stays. And here's what's wild. When you finally stop trying to be liked, you become respected. Not by everyone. But by the right ones. And most importantly, by yourself. So the next time you feel misunderstood, breathe. You don't need to be understood. You just need to be aligned. Because a life that's true is always better than a life that's liked. 10. Accepting change. Everything changes. The seasons. The faces in your life. The way you feel. The goals you once chased. The person you were 5 years ago. And yet, we resist. We try to hold on. We cling to what's familiar. We fear the unknown. But the Stoics remind us. Change isn't the enemy. Resistance is. Because life is not static. It's a river, always flowing, always shifting. And when you try to hold on to the past, you drown in the present. But when you flow with change, when you embrace impermanence, you begin to see it not as loss, but as life itself unfolding. Every ending carries the seed of a beginning. Every goodbye makes space for a new hello. Every shift, every turn, every transition is shaping you in ways you can't yet see. So breathe. Let go of who you were. Welcome who you're becoming. Release the need for certainty. And trust the wisdom of the unknown. The Stoics didn't wish for permanence. They prepared for change. They understood that everything borrowed must be returned. Titles, wealth, even the people we love. So they held life lightly. And loved fiercely. Not because they feared change. But because they accepted it, completely. And that acceptance. It's not giving up. It's growing up. It's saying, I will not waste energy fighting the tide. I will ride it, with grace. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. In a world that moves too fast. Where everyone is fighting their own silent war. Kindness is not weakness. It is strength, at its highest form. The Stoics understood this. They weren't cold or emotionless. They were compassionate, with clarity. They practiced what Marcus Aurelius wrote. Be strict with yourself, but gentle with others. Because everyone you meet is carrying something. Pain they don't show. Loss they don't speak of. Fears they hide with smiles. And when you choose empathy, when you pause to listen, to see beyond the surface, you create a ripple of something rare. Human connection. You don't need to fix everyone. But you can offer presence. You can offer patience. You can offer a kind word. A silent understanding. A simple gesture that says, you're not alone. Compassion is not about being soft. It's about being aware. Aware that just like you stumble, others do too. The Stoics knew. True strength is not loud. It's steady. It's gentle hands with firm roots. It's the warrior who defends others. Not just himself. So today, as you walk through this world, busy, noisy, often numb, be someone who still sees, still feels, still cares. Because in the end, we are all just human, trying to find our way home. And sometimes, the most stoic thing you can do is simply be kind. You've just walked through 12 Stoic principles. Not as ideas on a page, but as tools to live by. To wake up. To take back your power. To face life not with fear, but with clarity, courage, and calm. These aren't lessons to admire. They're habits to live. And you don't need to master all 12 today. Just pick one. One principle. One change. One step. Start there. Repeat it tomorrow. Then again the next day. And slowly. You won't just understand Stoicism. You'll embody it. Because transformation doesn't come from information. It comes from application. So choose your principle. Write it down. Live it out. And become the person you were meant to be.